If today you feel exhausted, it may not be because life is too heavy, but because you are carrying too many things that were never yours to carry. Have you ever noticed this? We don't collapse because of events. We collapse because of how we think about those events. In this video, I won't talk about motivation. I won't talk about positive thinking. And I won't tell you to try a little harder. Instead, we'll carefully break down ancient Stoic sayings and senses that seem simple, but if misunderstood, can trap you in a lifetime of tension without you ever knowing why. We'll move through different groups of ideas, from inner control to desire and reputation, from the fear of loss to the ways humans quietly hurt themselves every single day. And after each group, I'll share very practical exercises, not to make you stronger, but to help you stop hurting yourself unnecessarily. If you stay until the end of this video, you may not change your life overnight, but there's a good chance you'll stop fighting things that were never your enemies. Now, let's begin with the first group of lessons, the place where most human suffering truly begins. You suffer more in imagination than you ever, though in reality. Did you know this? Most of the pain in your life has never actually happened. It exists only inside your mind. You worry about a conversation that hasn't taken place. You fear a failure that hasn't arrived. You suffer over scenarios your mind creates at midnight. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't say, "Don't suffer." They simply said, "Don't believe every thought that appears in your mind." How many worries you had over the past year never became real. You cannot control events, but you can always control your response to them. Life doesn't ask if you're ready. Loss still comes. Misunderstandings still happen. Other people still foolish things. The only thing you truly own is how you respond. Stoics don't try to control the world. They train one thing only, an inner state that draws you to get dragged around by events. If you constantly feel exhausted, it may be because you're trying to control what was never in your hands. Most anger comes not from what happens, but from the story you tell yourself about it. Here is the truth: that person didn't insult you. You told yourself a story that their action meant, "I'm not respected. I'm being looked down on." That story is what actually made you angry. Stoics don't suppress emotions. They stop false stories at the source. If you change the story you tell yourself, those emotions still have power over you. No one is harmed by another unless they allow it in their own mind. This line can sound uncomfortable, but it's incredibly freeing. Others can say whatever they want, but whether you're hurt or not is your decision. Not because you're weak, but because you allowed their words inside. Stoicism doesn't turn you numb. It teaches you one thing: close the door to your inner world when necessary. If someone hurt you today, ask yourself, what am I allowing to go too deep? A disciplined mind suffers less, even when fate is harsh. Stoics don't expect life to be gentle. They prepare for it to be difficult. Discipline here doesn't mean forcing strength. It means not letting the mind run wild when something happens. A disciplined mind doesn't react immediately, doesn't judge too quickly, doesn't turn small problems into mental hell. A painful truth: the people who suffer the most are often the ones with the least disciplined minds. Practical exercises over the next 7 days. Try these 3 simple exercises. Exercise 1. Separate facts from thoughts. Whenever you feel upset, write down the objective, even no emotions, the story you're telling yourself. You'll be shocked to see that many times of suffering live. I need second line. Exercise 2. Delay your reaction by seconds. When you feel the urge to react, stay silent for 1 second. Ask, does this reaction help me, or just release emotion? Stoics believe it. A small pause creates great freedom. Exercise 3. Control just one thing each day. Focus on only one thing you can control: your attitude, your tone, your way of thinking. Ignore the rest. And this is only the first group. In the next group, we'll talk about what exhausts people for a lifetime while they mistake it for motivation. Desire, reputation, and approval. If you've ever lived for other people's eyes, stay with me. Life becomes lighter the moment you stop trying to control what was never yours. Here's a truth few people want to hear. Life isn't heavy. You're making it heavy. By trying to control other people's emotions, other people's decisions, how life is supposed to go your way. Stoics don't give up. They just let go of the right things. If today you let go of one thing that isn't yours, how much lighter would you feel? You become a slave the moment you depend on things you cannot control. You think slavery means chains. Stoics taught differently. They said, you become a slave when your mood depends on praise, attitudes, approval, other people's decisions. All it takes is changing, and you collapse with them. Today, who is holding the remote to your emotions? The fear of loss often causes greater damage than loss itself. Here's the irony. We haven't lost anything yet, but we live as if everything is already gone. You fear losing people, losing status, losing your image. And because of that fear, you don't dare live fully. Stoics prepare for loss, so when it comes, they don't lose themselves. What are you protecting right now? Or are you just afraid of the emptiness if it disappears? These three quotes point to the same mistake. Humans hand over control of their inner world to the outside world. Stoicism doesn't teach you to ignore life. It teaches you to draw clear boundaries. What is not yours to control, accept what belongs to your inner world, and take responsibility for it. When this boundary blurs, peace appears. Hierarchical exercise exercise 1. The circle of control. Take a piece of paper and draw 2 circles. Inner circle, what you can control. Outer circle, what you can. Whenever you feel stressed, ask, which circle am I worrying about? If it's the outer one, stop immediately. Exercise 2. Practice intentional letting go each day. Choose one small thing not to control. Don't explain, don't react, don't fix others, just observe. This isn't weakness. It's practicing freedom. Exercise 3. Prepare for loss before sleep. Ask yourself, if this disappears tomorrow, what do I still have? Not to become pessimistic, but to recognize what cannot be taken away. Character, way of living, core values. And if you think letting go is a no, not yet. In the next group, we'll touch the sweetest trap of all, the one almost everyone falls into. Desire, reputation, and approval. It doesn't hurt you right away. It exhausts you for a lifetime. Most people waste their lives chasing approval instead of mastering themselves. Many people are not living their own lives. They live a version that others find acceptable. You choose a job for the way it looks. You choose a lifestyle for the praise. You choose silence or self-expression just to be approved. The Stoics call this a quiet kind of waste. Not loud, but lasting an entire lifetime. If no one were watching, would you still live the way you do now? He who learns to desire less is never poor. Society tells you wanting more will make you happier. Stoicism says the opposite. Wanting less makes you freer. Not because you don't deserve more, but because every new desire adds another chain to your mind. Someone who never knows enough is never rich, no matter how much they have. The desire to be admired often costs you your inner peace. Wanting to be admired sounds beautiful, but what's the price? You don't dare live honestly. You're afraid to be wrong. You have to protect an image, and you feel tired even when doing nothing. Stoics don't hate repetition. They just refuse to trade peace for attention. A painful but honest question: are you living or performing? You do not need a perfect life to have a peaceful one. Many people postpone peace when things are more stable, when I'm good to know, when others finally recognize me. But Stoicism says peace is not a destination. It's the way you walk. You can lack many things and still be calm. Are you using not enough yet as an excuse not to live? These 4 quotes circle around one major illusion: when I get more, I'll be okay. Stoicism looks straight at the truth. It's not what you have that exhausts you. It's what you think you need. Reputation, approval, admiration, terror, not evil. But when you depend on them, you lose inner freedom. Hierarchical exercise 1. Remove the motive before every decision. Ask yourself, am I doing this because of my values or because I want to be seen? No judgment, just awareness. Exercise 2. Cut one unnecessary desire. Choose one desire to reduce this week. Less showing off, less comparing, less explaining. You will feel lighter immediately. Exercise 3. Life a little unseen. So one good thing that no one knows about. Stoics believed true value doesn't need an audience. But even if you let go of desire, even if you let go of attention, there is still something quietly consuming lives that many people realize too late. Time and death. The next group won't be easy to hear. But if you're brave enough, it will change how you live. Time is the only possession you truly own, yet it is the one most carelessly spent. You can lose money. You can lose reputation. But there is one thing that, once gone, is gone forever. Time. The paradox is this: we guard money carefully, but let time be torn apart by worry, comparison, and meaningless things. Stoics don't ask, how much do you have? They ask, what are you spending your time on? If today were your last day, would you live it the same way? A short life lived with virtue is longer than a long life wasted. Society celebrates living long. Stoicism celebrates living right. A long life, empty inside, is just a repetition of habits. A short life, lived with meaning, leaves a real mark. Stoics don't fear dying early. They fear living long without truly living. When you look back on the past 5 years, who have you become? In the end, the wise mourn not what they lost, but what they failed to become. At the end of life, people don't regret money. They don't regret missed chances. They regret not having the courage to become the person they knew they could be. Not living honestly. Not living by their values. Not stepping outside others' expectations. Stoicism reminds you of this early, so you don't realize it too late. If you continue living the same way today, what will you regret in 10 years? These 3 quotes aren't about death. They're about how you are living right now. Time don't take your life away. You give it away every day to things that don't matter. Stoicism does scare you with finitude. It uses it to wake you up. Hierarchical exercise 1. Time inventory for 3 days. Write down what you owe for, how long, how you feel afterward. At the end of each day, ask, was this worth the time I gave it? Exercise 2. Gentle memento mori. Every morning, quietly remind yourself, I may not get this day again. Not to create fear, but awareness. Exercise 3. Write your farewell. Write a short paragraph. If today were my last day, how would I want to be remembered? Pen life, so the answer slowly becomes true. But even when you understand time is precious, even when you accept life is finite, there is still something that determines how you live each remaining day. Character, discipline, and how you face adversity. The next group isn't about lofty philosophy. It's about who you are when no one is watching. A calm mind is stronger than any external power. We often misunderstand strength. We think it means being loud, winning, proving something. But Stoics saw it differently. The strongest person is the one not dragged around by chaos. When others lose control and you remain calm, that is power. In the most tense moments, who is truly in control? Your character is revealed not in comfort, but in difficulty. When things are easy, everyone is kind. Everyone is racial. But when you're exhausted, under pressure, and no one is on your side, that's when the real person appears. Stoics don't care what you say when things go well. They watch how you act when you have no advantage. The version of you in hardship is that someone you respect. Silence and restraint are signs of strength, not weakness. Society teaches you to react fast, to talk back, to prove you're right. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Not every battle deserves to be fought. Silence at the right moment is not fear. It's refusing to lose yourself. Are you silent because you're weak, or because you are strong enough not to speak? What you avoid today will demand a higher price tomorrow. Every time you avoid a difficult conversation, a necessary decision, a responsibility, it doesn't disappear. It grows. Stoics don't delay difficulty. They face early, so the cost doesn't multiply later. Is there something you're avoiding that you know won't go away on its own? This group isn't about thinking. It's about who you are in action. Stoicism believes character is greater than circumstance, discipline is greater than momentary emotion, calmness is greater than instant aversion. You can't control life, but you are always responsible for how you show up in it. Here, exercise. Observe yourself under pressure next time you are. Criticize pressure, treat it unfairly, don't rush to fix others. Observe, am I reacting or choosing? Exercise 2. Practice stopping each day. Choose one moment to not speak, not react, not explain, just remain calm. This is inner discipline, not passivity. Exercise 3. Face what's difficult, write down one thing I'm avoiding. Take the smallest possible step today. Stoicism asks you to be brave forever. It only asks you not to run away today. And finally, after all the discipline, control, and self-training, there is still one thing that causes the deepest regret. Words, emotions, and what cannot be taken back. The final group close the enter journey. Most regrets are born from words spoken in emotion, not silence. Think of a moment you truly regret. Not because you stay silent, but because you spoke too soon. You spoke why angry, why hurt, to release emotion, not to resolve anything. Stoics understood this. Emotions pass, but words remain. How many times have you wished you had stayed silent, just 10 seconds longer? This quote stands alone, but it completes the entire Stoic philosophy. Because after perception, letting go, desire, time, discipline, the final factor shaping your life is how you handle emotion in the moment. Stoicism doesn't forbid emotion. It simply reminds you, don't let emotion hold the pen that writes your life. Here, exercise 1. The 2 of our rule when emotions are high. Don't text, don't speak, don't decide, wait 24 hours. If after 24 hours it still needs to be said, you speak with reason, not impulse. Exercise 2. Pause before speaking, before saying something important. Ask, if I say this, am I ready to live with the consequences? If not, silence is the wiser choice. Exercise 3. Why instead of speak when emotions rise, write it out, don't send it, don't edit, write until the emotion settles. Stoics believed ink can save relationships that words can destroy. All the quotes you've heard aren't meant to make you hard. They are meant to help you hurt yourself less, give less power to the outside world. Life more concisely, moment by moment. Stoicism doesn't promise happiness. It offers inner freedom. And sometimes that is a no. If this video made you pause and reflect even once, stay with this channel. Not to watch more, but to live lighter. If you're still here, you may not be searching for answers. You may just be looking for relief in your thoughts, relief in your expectations, relief in how you face life. The ancient Stoic words we walk through are not new. They've existed for thousands of years. And yet, the troubling question remains, humans still suffer for the same reasons as before. Not because life is too harsh, but because we think too much about what we can't control, want too many things we don't truly need, speak too quickly when emotions are hot, and forget that time waits for no one. Stoicism doesn't teach you to be numb. It reminds you of one simple truth: you don't need to control the whole world to lie peacefully within it. If you take just one thing from this video today, let it be this: peace doesn't come from life changing. Peace comes from changing how you stand in front of life. If this video resonated with you, treat it as a reminder. Not to saw something grand, just to Breathe a little slower, reek a little later, and live a little more consciously each day. Thank you for staying until the end. We don't need to live fast. We just need to live right.